the US government is buying Bitcoin and XRP in ways that will shock you. Ripple also just released a new study about tokenization in banking services. Of course, we need to talk about this. Guys, this movie has that and a lot more. Stick with me through it all. Today, I have news about Ripple and XRP for you. First, let's listen to Jay Claver talk about how to make money. Deals on the XRP system work better? How much XRP do you need to send a certain amount of money? When do we know? Since the network fee stays the same, it makes more sense for XRP to be expensive. When the price of XRP goes up, more money can move for less XRP. Let's say XRP was worth $1 instead of the value it has now. It would be worth more than that to move actually set to work at its best levels around $10,000, 0 cents. That's where I think it will be in 48 months or maybe even in 24 months. This video was taken a while ago, so I don't know for sure when Jake will be freed. It looks like it came out on April 14, but Jake looks a little younger in this video. It's $10,000, 0 cents over the next 2 years. I'm not sure if this was last year or not, or maybe Jake just looks very young in that video. What do you guys think about that? Post your answer below. Ripple has put out a new study. Really quickly. It is very, very fast for the market for tokenized financial assets to grow. They think that tokenized assets will be $6 trillion, 0 cents in value. They will be worth almost $19 trillion, 0 cents by 2033. This is where my problem lies. I don't get it, and maybe neither do you. This year, in 2025, we'll reach $6 trillion, 0 cents, but it will take another 8 years to hit $19 trillion, 0 cents. What I don't get about that. A new study by Ripple and BCG that was written in tokens. We take a look at how tokenization is going. Let's talk about the specifics. That's how the process of tokenizing money works. Traditional and independent finance can work together with tokens because they represent real-world assets as blockchain-based tokens. This helps banking companies work better by giving them access to new sources of cash. The XRP system is a tool for tokenizing real-world assets that helps partners and issuers get the most out of these benefits as they move through the 3 stages of tokenization usage. Adoption is the first step, and it comes with low risk. There are times when banks and financial firms use well-known products as tokens to see how ready they are, get immediate operational gains, and set up basic infrastructure like digital asset duty till we remember what Ripple custody was. Ripple custody is the new name for it. It used to be called Medico. You're giving this technology to banks, in case you didn't know. When banks made their own safe coins, we talked a lot about this. Why? Because that steady coin comes with a lot of risk. It doesn't make sense for many banks to do it on their own. For a bank that isn't, those who aren't really into blockchain shouldn't try to make their own blockchain or token on another blockchain. They'll be in danger if that ticket gets lost or stolen. If they use Ripple for something like storage or to send their own safe coin, Ripple is there in case something goes wrong, right? Institutional growth companies often start in the second phase of more difficult assets with stricter rules, which can also lead to more gains in value. For momentum to keep going, there needs to be clear rules, more advanced platforms, and a willingness to challenging traditional ways of making money. Step 3 is also there. The market changes as the phase goes on. During this stage, things that are hard to sell can be turned into tokens, which are changes at the system level. It becomes normal for businesses in the same field to share tools and work together. Finally, I want to explain what I mean when I say that profitability sets the tone for the next stage of finance. By 2033, there should be a lot more than 19 trillion if all of these banks improve their systems and tokenize stocks, bonds, and swaps. You also talked about safe cash. It seems like Ripple isn't saying big numbers because they don't want to be called out for them. For example, Ripple said $50 trillion, 0 cents. But Raoul Pal thinks the market will be worth $100 trillion, 0 cents by 2033. That's pretty cool, right? We want to find the low or high end of those guesses. I also want to know if we'll really have half of about a quarter of the stocks on blockchain and the rest on the old method. Aren't we going to move everything at once? Is it going to drip? Will we add one new item every day, or will it all happen at once? I believe that everything will happen at once the machinery is in place. I know that my view will change depending on who I talk to and who reads this. More details. Please tell me what yours is. Also, tell me what you think about the description. Please explain more about where you think this is going. It also talks about why tokenization is good for banking services. Big changes have been made, but the world's money system is still built on slow technology that is decades old, broken up, and becoming more at odds with what users and capital need in today's markets. Tokenization is a big change that turns old-fashioned money tools into apps that can be quickly set up and modified. Making real-world assets into trading tokens can make them easier to get and more liquid by letting them be moved around 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, almost instantly. Smart contracts let people pay and follow the rules exactly. Deals can be made faster, there is less need for agents, and more people can get into the market. Financial companies can reach more buyers, cut costs, and settle claims faster. Clients get more safety, the chance to own a part of an asset, and assets that work better, which means chances for split ownership. No one has ever been able to buy 0.1, 0.2, or half before. Could you buy half a stock? I thought it was always one or nothing, right? Like you can't own half of a stock, but I think you'll be able to do that with tokenization and fractional power, right? When you first start out, like when you're 18 or 19, you don't have a lot of money, but you want the cash to go to your favorite cause or something. You want to buy, say, a tenth or half of an Apple stock share. You might be able to do that every time you get paid. There are also chances to own a house or land. Yes, as you look at this picture, having 20 or 30 or 50 people buy homes instead of just one. That way I know that some people want to get into real estate but can't afford to buy a house and live in it or rent it out. It's a great way to start. Okay, it also shows some tokenization examples, but I want to talk about investment grade bonds, which make up $1.140. You can read all this on your own if you want to. Trillion business all over the world. We talk about it a lot on the show.